this is my third experiment with Chat GPT. I've been actually throwing it a few architectures right now in between my last video and this one. Kind of like working with it on GDPR stuff and just kind of seeing what it outputs. And I know the delta between what it says and like where a lot of these architectures are. And there is a pretty significant delta. It can do pretty high level stuff. I think it takes a person knowing enough about architecture to go in there and be like, okay, fill in these gaps before you actually say, write me like a Terraform script, because you're not going to get a lot of the stuff that's kind of like moving the needle in the space right now, but it's still awesome. And I will definitely want to spend all day doing this, which is probably not super productive right now. But let's see if we can ask it to like dive a little bit harder on matchmaking flows, because a lot of those flows in this whole industry today, like you can run them in containers, but you can also just run them using different services. And there's services that I have not seen even mentioned in here. Like I have not seen like GraphQL. I have not seen AppSync. I haven't seen a lot of ways to actually do things beyond the very big names like Lambda. And so I want to see if it is actually picking up on that information and why not, if that's the case. So design an architecture for a MOBA matchmaking flow that matches players of, let's do a really weird number. Let's do 65 people. Use a cloud provider. Don't do it on-prem. I think it's probably really biased. Set up a central matchmaking server. Using an algorithm such as an ELO rating system or true skill. Use DynamoDB. The matchmaking server uses the algorithm or framework to match the players into groups of 65 players. Design an algorithm for matchmaking on containers that matches 65 players of different skill levels. Retrieve player data, match history, and any other relevant. Use the ELO rating or similar ranking to calculate the skill level of a player. Sort the players by their skill level with the highest skill players at the top and lowest skill players at the bottom. Begin forming groups of 65 players by starting with the top ranked player and adding next 64 with the closest skill levels. Once all the players have been matched into groups of 65, send each group to a game server to start a MOBA match. After the matches are complete, update the player data and matchmaking information. This provides a flexible and fair way to match all players of different skill levels into groups of 65. It's so much more complicated than this, but I appreciate the effort. And this is really incredible.